Hey there, Aquarius. Welcome to your reading for the week. This is for May 2025, Aquarius. So let's jump right in here and see what's going on for you. You have this fox spirit, it says think on your feet. You also have this wombat spirit, it says be at home. So a lot of you, we are in a time where we really have to think on our feet just in general. I mean, I think that's true for everyone. But there's a lot of, one thing I want to say is that there is a lot of opportunity in being able to think on your feet, being able to come up with other solutions, being able to see things that other people don't see in like work, in business, in career, in love, everywhere. So, you are an Aquarius. You are the innovator. I would be trusting your innovative ideas at this time because you never know. They could lead to a lot of success. We have two aces here, and now we have the Nine of Cups. There could be a lot of fulfillment and success and good things coming in through you thinking on your feet or kind of coming up with those unique solutions or, just different ways of looking at the world or whatever you're dealing with. So I would embrace that energy. It kind of seems like a little bit more of a chill month, by the way. So you have that be at home card, and it could just say you're chilling, right? That's it. You have the Hermit, the Ace of Cups, and the Seven of Pentacles. The Hermit can represent being in Hermit mode. I feel like you're coming out of Hermit mode just in general. I really don't feel much here on this Hermit. Like, I feel some of you have just been in Hermit mode, and that's it. I feel like you're coming out of Hermit mode. You're maybe being more social. Maybe there are social opportunities for you this month, and you're kind of taking advantage of those things. One other thing that is popping into my head here with the Hermit is I do feel like some of you have been deep in thought about just whatever in your life, and you could be like revealing some thoughts to people in your life, and that's what you're doing. It's like I feel like you're speaking your truth in certain matters. For some of you, I feel this will be fine. For others, I feel like maybe a person might show you their true colors this month. Just looking at, just taking this all in. I would say that, the good side of that is that you're seeing a person's true colors. So it's like if you tell a person something in like work or business or love, and it is your truth and they don't like it, well, too bad for them, right? They can suck it, Aquarius. I almost just said Capricorn. But they could deal with it, right? And so I feel like you very much have that attitude right now. And I feel like it's a good thing. You have the Ace of Cups. The Ace of Cups is your emotions overflowing, being very happy. So like I said, chill month. I feel that you could be really getting into the flow. You even have the new moon in Aquarius coming up in your next row. We'll talk about that in a minute. And, I kind of get this. That card says bring love into the situation, but it's kind of like a flowy card. And like I said, I'll show you in a minute. And the Ace of Cups is all about being in the flow. The Ace of Cups just has to reach down into the water below it, and it can fill itself back up. So I feel to me, the Ace of Cups is a card of doing things that put you into the flow. So this would represent like doing the activities, working on the projects and, doing things during your day that get you into the flow for a better energy. Could also be a love offer coming in for you. There's a little bit of love here. It could be a fire sign that's coming in. Really could be any sign, but we have the King of Wands right next to it. So if you want love, could be fire. Next, you have the Seven of Pentacles. Big changes coming for Aquarius. It just doesn't, there's nothing really all that exciting about this because this is what you're dealing with right now. Big changes. Pluto in your sign, you are going to change. It just plain and simple. And Seven of Pentacles is a change in direction. Seven of Pentacles also, I feel, is encouraging you to look at your investments. Your investment, not just money. We're talking about time, effort, attention, money, everything, right? Anything that you give anything to, I would really look at those investments and say, like, is this worth it or not? And this could be tied back to that true colors message, right? You could be deciding, like, if you are working on a project or a business with a person or something, that it's not worth it. And again, I think that for some of you, it will go well and the person won't care. For others, there might be a little bit of conflict here. You have the Five of Wands at the end. The Five of Wands is coming up in the good stuff, but again, I read intuitively. I don't like force the readings to say something that they're not, right? And so I just feel for some of you, this person might not like it, but too bad, so sad, right? Is what I would say there. And I would just keep moving in the direction that you're moving in because I feel like it's a much better direction, plain and simple. But let's see what we get here in this first row. With the Hermit, you have the Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, change in your fortunes. It's almost like when we tell a person how we truly feel. I'm not talking about love here. This could be love, but I really feel it's like a work thing where you're telling a person you're leaving or something like that. It's like when we truly stick up for ourselves and we just say, you know what, this isn't working for me. That's when we change our fortunes, because we're not settling on something that isn't right for us. This could be something else as well in your life where you're just like where you are just telling your truth about something. It could be anything. And, doing that, I think when we do that, we are telling the universe, I'm not willing to settle. And that's when things change. So, there you go. With the Ace of Cups, you have the Knight of Swords. Yeah, don't rush into anything. If there is love here, it looks spicy for sure. King of Wands, right? So, but I would, take your time. I wouldn't like rush right into this. I would, don't make it go too quickly, or, don't try to move in with the person after like 2 weeks of dating, that type of thing. I would take your time. You could be attracting someone who's a little bit more on the pushy side, but, it looks good so far. That might change in a minute, but, this kind of looks like it would be a good connection. You even have the Ace of Pentacles, which, I consider the Ace of Pentacles to be the path to marriage, so it could be very good. It will only be a problem if you don't speak up, if they're being too pushy, right? I think that, really, I always tell people, like, those are the best relationships. When you find a person who's doing something you don't like, but then they actually respect the boundary, then you found a person who actually respects boundaries, right? It's like, how is that a bad thing? It's like, sometimes I think I say these things and people are like, oh, I don't want a pushy person. It's like, that's not what I'm saying. It's like, they might just be a little like, overexcited, right? And when you find a person who actually respects what you say, you're winning, right? So again, I think this is a good thing, not a bad thing. With the Seven of Pentacles, you have the Four of Cups. The Four of Cups is like having been disappointed many times in the past, right? He's been disappointed at least 3 times, and now he's getting this new cup being offered to him, and he's not accepting it because he was disappointed in the past. And the 4 cups, I always say, like these 3 cups in this one here, they contain the ingredients of success. So we have to mix those cups together and apply what we learned to a new situation, and things will go better. So I would say that, there could be a new opportunity. It could be any type of opportunity with the Ace of Pentacles, which we'll talk about next. And but I would apply what you learned to this new situation. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have this card that says it's time to release negativity, and you also have this card that says bring love into any situation, which is true. But that new moon in Aquarius there, it's like a very flowy card. It's like, that's the thing that's standing out to me. It's like, I feel for a lot of you that things seem very kind of like clear in this reading. Like, I'm not saying things are clear for you. I'm saying the reading is clear. I think things that are meant to work are, for the most part, going to work for you this month of May. I think things that are not meant to work are going to be like sandpaper. It's going to be like a grind. There's going to be a lot of friction. And I feel this card, for whatever reason, the message I'm getting here is that you really need to pay attention to flow. If you feel like you're trying to force something to work, or if something is like a battle, those are the things that you should avoid. The things that are going to work are, for the most part, just going to work. And now there will always be obstacles. There will always be little things that pop up. But like I said with that Knight of Swords, if you say something and it gets corrected, then that is flow, right? So, I think sometimes people think life is just like this smooth ride, but it's not, right? But, again, things that aren't going to work are very clearly not going to work. There might be obstacles on the things that will, and I'm sorry I have to clarify this, but there are some people who sit in the back of the classroom here who have a problem listening, so I have to clarify. But, what I would say is things that, there might be little obstacles that you have to overcome, but still, if you can overcome them, then keep going. You have the Ace of Pentacles, the King of Wands, and the Two of Swords. Ace of Pentacles is like a big opportunity that could be coming in for you. We go down from this card, this diagonal, to the Nine of Cups and the Three of Cups, which is great. Three of Cups, those 3 ladies are celebrating a harvest. And there is something growing here on the Ace of Pentacles. So if you are working on something new or trying to grow something new, there could be a lot of growth coming in for you, or there is a lot of growth coming in for you with this Ace of Pentacles opportunity. I think that this could be a new work opportunity for a lot of you. And it could also be love. The Ace of Pentacles can be an offer of love, or, can be kind of like the path to marriage. So if you're meeting a person, definitely could be very good. You have the King of Wands. King of Wands is about being bold, being assertive, really going for what you want. There's a certain element of confidence that I think everyone on Earth needs to have right now, because we're all, just based off the astrology, Pluto going from Capricorn to Aquarius, the two eclipses we just had in Aries and Virgo, and all this other stuff that's been going on. I think really big picture, it's been encouraging people to let go of something that has been supporting you for a long time and having the confidence to create something new. And this could be in love, it could be in business, it could be your career, could be anything, but it's like everybody needs to have this level of confidence to be able to be successful in the future. For you here, Aquarius, I would say the important thing is your visionary energy. The King of Wands, he is a little bit of a visionary. He does kind of have that futuristic, innovative thinking in some ways. And so you being an Aquarius, I would be embracing your innovative nature, because your innovative ideas are probably going to be the things that make you very successful. So if you have an idea and people don't understand it, like I kind of get this feeling here that some of you might be trying to explain things to people and they're just not going to get it. And it's a time of demonstration. Maybe that's a better way to put it, right? Like we should be showing, not telling at this time. So it's not even worth, wasting your breath proving yourself right or any of that other stuff. I think it's a much more important time to just show people what you're capable of, or, to show that your ideas work, right? And that's really what I'm getting off of that card, like show, don't tell. You have the Two of Swords. Two of Swords is like this or that thinking. She needs to realize that there's another way of doing things over here on this island. Two of Swords is my card of third place solutions. Everybody thinks like this or that for, pretty much every issue that exists. But really there might, a third place might be better, or there might be another way of doing things that is a lot better than the way that you're doing them right now. And the Two of Swords kind of says that. She needs to trust her intuition. She has this blindfold on, and the blindfolds in the tarot can say that you need to trust your intuition or your what messages you're receiving. So blindfolds kind of represent that, and that's what I would do with that Two of Swords. With the Ace of Pentacles, you have the Queen of Pentacles. Queen of Pentacles is about resourcefulness. I will say that anything that we want to do right now, it's probably going to look like we don't have the resources to do it. The trick right now is to do it anyway. So, if maybe you want to build a business and maybe you don't have the money to do it, right now the energy is like, well, find a way to do it no matter what. Even if you have to start super small, and even if you have to prove the idea is going to work first, that's what I would do here. I do feel pretty good about money in May, so a lot of people might be noticing like financial improvements starting in May. I'm not saying things are perfect. Again, we are in a very weird time financially. I've been saying since 2016 that Neptune in Pisces is definitely messing with finances. And yes, Neptune has moved into Aries, but it will retrograde into Pisces. And it won't move back until the beginning of next year, like January 26th, I think, is the day that Neptune moves back into Aries next year, after it retrogrades. And so Neptune rules anything that flows. Pisces rules anything that flows, right? And we call it currency. So, it flows. And we are going to see a lot of changes to finances. What does this mean? I have no freaking clue. I'm not even going to try to guess because Neptune is too murky in the first place. But what I would say is that, people who can learn how to do things without money, who can learn how to do things and be resourceful are going to be the people that are very successful no matter what. And so that's what I would practice with that card. With the King of Wands, you have the Six of Pentacles. Six of Pentacles is equal give and take. Again, I said, it's a card of fairness, right? I think that if you are attracting love, this is a very fair person. I think they are willing to negotiate, willing to see things from your side. I also get this, it's like, I think this is a very specific message, so bear with me here, Aquarius. But, if you have dealt with people in the past who are very defensive, like they take everything personally, I think this is like the type of person who they really don't take anything personally, even if it is personal. Like, even if you get personal, I feel like this person, even though they might be a fire sign, they might be fiery, I feel they are like very level-headed. headed, I feel like they're very cool headed as well. It's like they, even if you kick off or even if you blow your top, I feel like this person will be very kind of like calm and very straightforward and not taking things personally. So that's like popping into my head. With the Two of Swords, you have the Emperor here. So it could be attracting an Emperor. Could be an Aries. Could be any sign. General reading. But I also feel with the Two of Swords, this could be about you taking action in a new direction. Again, she's thinking this or that, but there's like a new direction that she could choose. And your next card is the Crossroads in the Lenormand. We'll talk about it in a minute. But there's definitely a decision for you to make. It wouldn't be an Aquarius reading if there wasn't some sort of decision to make. Next, in the area of messages from your future self, you have the Mice in the Crossroads. This can represent a challenging decision to make, or it can represent kind of like a difficult choice. The Mice is about small little details. The Mice is about getting caught up in the tiny little details. The Crossroads is just a card of making a choice. So I kind of feel this is saying, like, don't get too caught up in the tiny little things, because that will probably slow your decision down. I feel like this could be a choice about making a change, because your very first card is the Death card. But I feel this is saying, like, don't worry about the tiny little details. You have the Death card, the Nine of Cups, and the Nine of Pentacles. Again, the Death card can represent a transformation or a change. The King is dead on the Death card, and the King being dead on the Death card says even kings die. It basically, on the Death card, it represents the fact that nothing is immune to transformation. Even things we think are going to last forever, sometimes they don't. So, it's about realizing that. Pluto going from Capricorn to Aquarius is the death of establishment. The King being dead on the Death card is the death of establishment. So a lot of you are probably transforming past something in your life that has been an establishment for a long time. It could be a job, could be a business, could be a relationship. I kind of feel like it's already started to happen, or it already has happened, and now you're just kind of creating the new beginning. Or you're moving on to the new beginning. Remember what I said about true colors as well? I feel for a small percentage of you, someone is like showing you their true colors. I think you've seen it all along, but it's like now you're admitting the truth to yourself. I kind of said that at the beginning as well, where it's like maybe it's a boss or a person you work with. It's like maybe you've always known that something was off, but it's like now I feel like you're finally kind of seeing it. I do feel this is a good thing, because I feel that for the most part, you're getting out of the situation. You have the Nine of Cups. Nine of Cups can represent wish fulfillment or a wish. Now, Nine of Cups, it's very important that we are in the energy of what we want before we can have it. He is in perfect alignment with what he wants on the card. So he is matching the energy perfectly. If he wants love, then he is in love with himself. He is in love with something else in the world so that he can attract love. Same thing with money. If he wants money, he is in the energy of abundance so he can attract abundance. So being in the energy of what you want and acting as if you already have it is going to be important with that card. You have the Nine of Pentacles. A lot of Nine of Pentacles energy in these readings as well, Aquarius. So, it's been a very common theme. And, I think a lot of people are being pushed to be more independent, like being able to take care of yourself, being able to support yourself. We're all kind of being pushed in that direction. I feel for you, there's this little snail right here. And, I said sandpaper earlier, right? The snail on the Nine of Pentacles represents your environment, the energy around you. And so if there are things in your environment that are causing friction or are slowing you down or are causing problems, I would get rid of those things. It could be like bad habits. It's like maybe your cell phone is a distraction. It's like maybe you need to turn it off for 3 hours a day so that you can get work done. It's like that's the type of stuff we can do with the Nine of Pentacles to like really increase our abundance. And if you do that, you will. With the Death card, you have the Death card. So basically the universe saying I meant what I said. There's some sort of transformation that you're undergoing here, and that's that. With the Nine of Cups, you have the Four of Swords. Like I said, it is a chill month. I think taking a chill pill, chilling out, doing something nice for yourself this month, taking a vacation if you can, or a staycation if you can, or, even just carving 5 minutes out per day to just like go meditate or, do something nice, I feel will make all the difference in the world. But I also just get a chill feeling. Like, I'm not saying May is perfect. Like, we are far and away from a perfect time between now and 2033. A lot of chaos in the world. But what I would say is kind of like embracing those moments where you can chill is going to be very beneficial. And that's what I would do there. With the Nine of Pentacles, you have the High Priestess. Yes, trust your intuition. We said that with the Two of Swords right next to it here, Aquarius. So you could be very intuitive this month. And, listening to your inner voice or listening to what your intuition is telling you is going to be very, very important. Next, in the good stuff, you have this Co-Create card and this Not For You card, which is really funny because this entire time in this reading, we've been talking about potentially a person that you should not work with, and, or like some sort of issue with working with a person or something like that. And so it's kind of funny that it says not for you. This is coming up in the good stuff. So you might be realizing that working with a person is not good, and by not working with them, it is good that you move on from that situation, right? I think what's more important for Aquarius is that, we are in a time of co-creation. Pluto in Aquarius is about anything that benefits the collective. So we should be co-creating. We should be working with people. But I think Aquarius has learned like the right people to work with. And that's what I would pay attention to here. You have the Five of Wands, the Page of Wands, and the Three of Cups. Five of Wands is like conflict and competition. But it's coming up in the good stuff. So you could be overcoming conflict or competition, or you could be overcoming a difficult difference of opinion with a person or something like that. So, that's pretty much all I'm getting on this Five of Wands. You have the Page of Wands. Everybody is being pushed towards optimism, and you might be saying, I don't feel very optimistic, but that's the whole point. I think that there is a lot of stuff, and there will be a lot of things that go on between now and 2033, as I've said, that will make us not feel optimistic. But really the trick is that we have to force ourselves to be optimistic. And the people who do that, mark my words, will end up in a much better position in the future. So I would make sure that you are doing things to stay optimistic, to stay hopeful, to stay, in a good place. And if you do that, things will go well. You have the Three of Cups, Three of Cups is celebration, happiness. They're celebrating this harvest that is going on around them. And so I definitely feel there could be like a harvest that you're celebrating, or there could be some form of abundance that you're creating. And that would be good. You could be also gaining, like kind of standing above the competition here with the Five of Wands and the Three of Cups. And this could be a good thing because, you could be growing your business or growing in your career. And that could be what you're celebrating with that Three of Cups. So let's see. With the Five of Wands, you have the Seven of Pentacles, which you have twice here. You start and end with the Seven of Pentacles. Seven of Pentacles is some sort of change or change in direction. So you could be changing something, like I already said. With the Page of Wands, you have the Four of Wands. Four of Wands like marriage. Like I said, if you want love, there is some good love stuff here. So this doesn't say you're going to get married tomorrow. And like I said, with the Knight of Swords, I definitely would tell someone, hold your horses. We're not rushing into this, buddy, right? Maybe that's what you need to say with this energy. But there's, like I said, I think if you find the person who respects that, then it definitely could lead to marriage in the future, right? The Four of Wands is also a card of freedom. All fixed signs need to work on freedom. Anything that feels like a leash, you need to remove it, unless you're into that sort of thing. I know some people out there are into the whole leash thing, so I'm not hating here, but what I would say is, for the most part, setting yourself free is going to be very important. With the Three of Cups, you have the Queen of Cups. Yes, following your heart, ultimately. The Queen of Cups really listens to what her heart is telling her to do, and she moves towards her heart, plain and simple. So I would follow your heart, because that's where the success is going to come from. You have this Camel card. It says, persevere and you will overcome problems. Like I said, little tiny problems, little things popping up. You need to push past those little issues. We're not talking about big issues. I think there's a clear difference, which is what I was trying to say on the Ace of Pentacles. Some things are just going to be like a freaking brick wall, right? Huge brick wall that you can't overcome. Other things, there might be a little resistance that you can push past. And those are the things that I would be pushing past with this card. You have this dragon. It says, beware of self-delusion. Whenever Neptune changes signs, Neptune in general is delusional, plain and simple. And so I would definitely be careful of like delusional thinking. Not that you are delusional. It's not saying that you are delusional. It's just saying, make sure that you can back the things that you say up with evidence. And as long as you take your time and, don't rush things, you will be fine. You have this mountain that says major obstacle, major challenge to overcome. We are kind of like in a time where we're being encouraged to climb mountains for sure. And I tell everyone to do it. It's like I will never tell someone that their life should be easy because, easy come, easy go. Plain and simple. And I'm not saying things have to be overly hard either, but, to grow, we have to face challenges. So, don't be afraid of those challenges. You have this crib card that says birth or conception of a child or an enterprise. Ace of Pentacles for sure. Ace of Pentacles can be like the birth of a new business idea, or any of those things. So any new ideas could be very successful. You have this dog close up. It says pleasure with a close friend. Yeah, the friends that aren't weird, like, this weird thing going on here, I think people who you're really close with is going to be beneficial for you as well. But this looks pretty good, Aquarius. I like it. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your month.